is straight up my fifth time recording this video. The audio on the past two, you guys are so lucky you didn't have to hear it. I mean, it was so bad. Turns out you're supposed to talk into the top of this microphone and not the side like this. Side bad, top not terrible audio, which is great. Because I didn't pay a whole lot of money for this microphone, but I'd sure like it to work. So, in this video, I want to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves, which I feel like I've said for the 1,000th time today. But it was the most exciting thing in free agency, and you can't tell me otherwise, because the other most exciting thing about free agency is like Kevin Durant requesting a trade, and he hasn't even been traded. So it's not even. Shut up. It's not even real. It's not real. So, did the Timberwolves make a good trade or did they make a bad trade? I think that really boils down to what you think is a good trade and what you think is a bad trade. Do you think this trade should make them win a championship? Do you think this trade, on the other hand, is going to be like, wow, yeah, they're going to win a lot of regular season games, but, they're not going to do much in the playoffs. But I'm okay with that. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves fans that are like, we're going to win a championship this year, and we're going to be really good, and I'm going to talk a whole lot of crap on Twitter, they're going to be really, really disappointed. I'm sorry to tell you. I really am. But the Minnesota Timberwolves fans that are like, wow, yeah, we're going to win 50 games this year, we might actually, make it out of the first round. Wow, we're going to be fun. We're going to play some defense. Those Timberwolves fans are going to be really happy. I like those Timberwolves fans. If you're a Timberwolves fan like that, let me know. 5 first-round picks, Jared Vanderbilt, Patrick Beverley, Walker Kessler. That is the deal for what Rudy Gobert is. Now, the argument as soon as the trade happens is, oh my god, the Jazz got fleeced. Oh my god, the Timberwolves got fleeced. Shut up. No. This trade is going to take 5 years until we know a winner or a loser. Who was the pick 5 years ago? Who's the first overall pick 5 years ago? Let me know. Here, say it. You're wrong. It was Marcus Smart. Nope. Oh, I was wrong. It was Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz was the first overall pick. Did you know that? I bet most of y'all did. So yeah, a lot can change in 5 years. So the first round pick 5 years down the road might be Jason Tatum. It might be Luka Doncic. It might be LeBron James 2.0. But it also might be Anthony Bennett. We don't know. So we can't judge the trade yet. And if the Timberwolves win a championship in the next 5 years, they automatically just win the trade because the goal at the end of the day is to win a championship. Now, I don't personally think Rudy Gobert is going to get them to the championship. And personally, I would have liked to see the Minnesota Timberwolves go trade for some pieces around the edges, like a Miles Turner, like more perimeter defenders, more maybe a backup big man that might better. Naz Reid, I really like Naz Reid. Now you're like, oh, well, they drafted Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler could have been that backup center. Walker Kessler is going to be out of the league in 5 years. I think he's too slow. I don't think he's good. So if Walker Kessler isn't doing it for you, and you don't get good minutes out of Naz Reid sometimes, he's really good, but he's kind of wishy-washy at times, then you're going to lose in the first round to the Grizzlies. Now, I think the Grizzlies was the best team they could have matched up with last year because John Morant, not a great shooter. Jaren Jackson Jr. was struggling with foul trouble the entire series. He just could not keep his hands off people. The only thing he had to do that series was not foul out in every single game. And you know what he tried to do? He tried to foul out in every single game. He didn't. But he really, really gave his all. And for that, I commend you. The high pick and roll against Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns is going to absolutely cook them. I'm not worried about them running two traditional centers. Maybe not traditional, but two players that have been normally seen as a center when Karl-Anthony Towns has really been playing the power forward for 2 years. Y'all just aren't watching the Timberwolves close enough to see that. Not that I am oh my God, you guys aren't watching the Timberwolves. What are you watching? Because a lot of times I'm not watching the Timberwolves either. But when I do watch the Timberwolves, I see Jared Vanderbilt really running the center for them, staying in the dunker spot, holding down the paint, while Karl-Anthony Towns kind of just sits around the paint as well, I guess, because he's not fast enough to move laterally on the perimeter. But I think the offensive side of the ball for the Timberwolves, especially in the regular season, is going to be really good because you have D'Angelo Russell, who's a better playmaker for Rudy Gobert than Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's a better player, but D'Angelo Russell's the better playmaker. And then you have Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is that guy. He's got that dog in him. What can I say? If you want a really good value pick for MVP next year, I'd say Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is going to win a lot of games next year. He's going to be maybe the second seed in the Western Conference next year. He's going to be the star player on that team. He's going to be putting up 25 points per game. Maybe you put $100 on Anthony Edwards. Now, you're going to lose $100 on Anthony Edwards, but you know, maybe it hits and maybe you win a couple of grand. If you do that because of this video, you owe me $200. I'll just say 200. Timberwolves next year gonna win a lot of regular season games, and I'm really happy for them. Now, Jazz fans next year gonna lose a lot of games. You guys are gonna be bad. You guys look like you're gonna trade Donovan Mitchell. Now, if that doesn't happen, maybe you're like the 10th seed. But nothing else around Donovan Mitchell really gets me excited for Utah Jazz basketball next year. Unless they keep Patrick Beverley. Now, honestly, they're probably going to buy out Patrick Beverley, and he's going to go to, like, the Lakers and reunite with LeBron, and they're going to be so cute. But I would rather see Patrick Beverley stay in Utah and then have, like, fights on the sidelines with fans that are, like, maybe being a little racist towards Mr. Patrick Beverley, because we know how some of those Utah Jazz fans get down. Not all of you Utah Jazz fans. I'm sure a lot of you are really wonderful people. But some of you out there, maybe you lean a little on the bad end, but that's okay. No, it's not okay. That's bad. Change your ways. Patrick Beverley in Utah would be really funny. But if you do trade Donovan Mitchell, that probably means that Jordan Clarkson is out the door. It probably means that Bojan Bogdanovic is out the door. Maybe even Mike Conley if someone wants to take his really old knees and back. But that means that Jared Vanderbilt is going to be your franchise player unless Utah wants to make it Walker Kessler, because Walker Kessler, never mind. You know what? We're going to lay off Utah Jazz fans. Yeah, they're going to be the Victor Wembanyama free sweepstakes. Maybe 5 years down the road, those picks hit, and maybe they have a really good player. Who knows? The Jazz didn't have a first-round pick this year, so they don't have really anyone super fun to be watching off the top of the little head thing. I'm really hoping that maybe there's something to watch. So in the Mavs and the Jazz play, I can tune into a Jazz game and be like, wow, yeah, no, that guy might be good. Wow, he's probably going to be good. He might be okay. Wow, maybe there's something building in Utah. Right now, I don't see that. If I see a random Wednesday night game with the Jazz, I'm not clicking on it. I like League Pass as much as the next guy, but I'm not wasting a League Pass night on Donovan Mitchell less Jazz team. I'm just not. Just not going to be a fun time. I'm not going to invest a couple hours into that team. So Jazz bad. Timberwolves, depending on your answer to what is good and what is bad for a basketball team, then they might be good. They might be bad. What was your opinion on? Okay, so there's two teams. There's two teams I'd really like to relate this Timberwolves team to. This year, Chicago Bulls in like the 2015 Atlanta Hawks when they had like Jeff Teague and Al Horford and Taurean Prince and Kyle Korver, who just got a job with the Atlanta Hawks. So shout out to Kyle Korver. Now, if you think the Chicago Bulls team this year was good, then you're probably going to think the Timberwolves team is going to be great, because what did the Chicago Bulls do? Won a lot of regular season games. They lost in the first round. What did the 2015 Atlanta Hawks do? They won a lot of regular season games. And say it with me. 3, 2, 1. Lost in the first round. Now, I think the Timberwolves might make it out the first round, but I don't see them making it to the Western Conference Finals. And the idea of every NBA team is to win a championship. Does this move make the Minnesota Timberwolves a championship contender? I don't think so. So, I'm sorry, Timberwolves fans. You might go 20 years. You might go your whole lifetime without winning a championship. I don't think this Rudy Gobert trade is really what does it for you. But Anthony Edwards is great. So maybe you continue to build around Anthony Edwards. Maybe you get anything for D'Angelo Russell. I wouldn't give up anything for D'Angelo Russell, but you got 5 firsts for Rudy Gobert. I wouldn't have given 5 firsts for Rudy Gobert. I would have given like 3, and maybe like Jared Vanderbilt. But that's what the market was for him. So I can't be mad at him if that's the best trade. And maybe someone else was like on the phone trying to give him 4 first-round picks, and the only way you're going to get him was give 5. In which case, I can't be mad at you if you really wanted the guy. But I just don't think this team is going to be good in the playoffs when they're not able to have 2 guys out there for a large part of the time, because the perimeter defenders on the Timberwolves are better than they were in Utah, because the best perimeter defender in Utah was like Royce O'Neal, who was trying to injure Jalen Brunson. So we don't rock with Royce O'Neal over here. Which is crazy. You got a first round pick for him too. Crazy. But yeah, I mean, Anthony Edwards and Malik Beasley are going to be your best perimeter defenders next year, and they were also your best perimeter defenders last year, and you guys were a bad defense last year. So maybe now with Rudy Gobert, they're able to maybe hold it down better than Royce O'Neal and Donovan Mitchell was, and Mike Conley for that matter, because all 3 of those guys were getting worked by Jalen Brunson. So, and Spencer Dinwiddie. And really anyone that knows how to dribble. Josh Green was out there cooking for 2 minutes. Josh Green's going to win Most Improved Player next year. Did you know that? I know that. I'll put $20 on it. I'm not allowed to gamble in Texas because it's illegal. But if I had $20 and was able to gamble, I'd throw it on a Josh Green Most Improved Player. I saw that workout video. I don't know if you did. But yeah, Josh Green Most Improved. Anthony Edwards, MVP. Timberwolves are going to win 55 games. You're going to be super fun in the regular season. You're going to suck in the playoffs, and you're going to want to play them in the playoffs. If your favorite team is in the Western playoffs next year, and you're going to play the Timberwolves, don't worry as long as you have shooters.